You're listening to Fathead Radio via Live 365.
Okay, good morning. Fathead Radio on the air. We're like a bunch of pirates this morning. We didn't know we were going to be on or not. So I got Denny on the phone with me. Right, Den?
I'm here. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Dennis. Good to talk to you, pal. How was your week, man? I heard we've both been sick this week. How disgusting.
Yeah, I don't feel so hot.
No, but it sounds like the same symptoms. So some kind of disgusting sinus infection or cold or something. Hey, we can cough in stereo, Den. That's got to be entertaining if anybody's tuned in. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm going to send a doctor over first chance I get. Yeah, so, the fascinating conversation that anybody may have missed in the first few minutes was Denny and I exchanging stories about being sick all week, along with dueling coughs and nose blows. Remember when we were talking on our last show, right before Christmas, Dan, one of your girls went to the Eagles game, right?
Yes.
Arizona, because I was down there with my buddy Larry. What a mess that was. It was freezing. Did you talk to her about it?
Not really. They're just, when the Eagles lose, they don't want to talk.
Well, it was a horrible game. It was just terrible. They had like 400... This is pretty disgusting. They had like 400 yards in offense, but they were never going to win that game. They were never in that game.
Yeah, they're amazing, aren't they?
Oh, it was horrible. So
They beat up on the Patriots, and then they can't beat these guys.
Yeah, that was lightning in a bottle. That was like the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligned with Mars, and something else happened because beating the Patriots. I'm sure if they played the Patriots 9 more times, they'd lose to them 9 times. I don't think the Patriots.
When the game started, they said that the Eagles have never ever beaten them. I had to go check that fact, but that's kind of odd in all these years that never happened.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know they lost to them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So the Eagles never beat New England until last 3 weeks ago.
We've got to check that somehow. They don't beat them a lot.
Well, I'll get the experts at Jigger's joint. These guys got a lot of opinions. I don't know if they know what they're talking about, but... And, of course, we always have Google. We got another hour and a half to check that out, but I'm sure I won't. Actually, tomorrow's game should be a real toilet bowl.
Yeah.
These two teams going nowhere. Both their coaches... Well, Kelly's gone, and it sounds like Coughlin's going to be gone after the last game.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, nobody cares, Dan. Everybody's happy. Everything I hear, every season, I talk to like 3 or 4 season ticket holders, and since he's been fired, that I'm friends with. My cousin, well, I didn't talk to my cousin Tommy, but I see he posted his joy on Facebook, so I knew how he felt before I even read that post, though. And everybody else I talked to is like glad to see him gone.
Yeah, it's been that way if you think about it for all the past coaches, except for Vermeil.
Yeah, that's true. Vermeil was...
Coach-type people would like to run him out on a rail.
Well, Kotite was funny. Yeah, he was terrible. I mean, I don't know how bad he really was, but the crowd hated him, and he seemed to be pretty... He seemed to be a good offensive... My thought back in the day was he was a good offensive coach, but he was coaching with Buddy Ryan, who was a total jackass. So, I mean, their whole philosophy back then was give the ball to Cunningham. According to Sid Gilliam, they could only afford to have 3 or 4 plays with Cunningham because he couldn't remember anymore.
Yeah. It was funny back then, It's like, give the ball to Cunningham or put it up high so what's his face will catch it. Who the hell?
Carmichael.
Yeah. Just put it up in the air. He'll grab it.
Right. And I used to work with him. They
gave him a big trophy for catching so many consecutive passes. Oh, my God, that's his job.
Yeah. The cough is sounding a lot better.
Like a cancer word here.
No, it doesn't sound good. It sounds like the TB word. Can I help you, Abe? Amelia's looking for something in here.
No.
No.
Yeah.
You want to
Happy
say
New
hello
Year,
to
Amy.
the... Happy New Year, Amy, Dennis said.
Happy New Year, everybody.
There you go. Amy wished everybody a Happy New Year out there.
Thank you.
And he's asking me to get out of the office.
I know, you're making way too much noise.
Oh, I gotta find something.
You're distracting me.
Oh.
I think it's the way you throw everything around while you're doing it is the most attractive part of it.
Well, if you concentrate, then you won't notice me.
It's hard to concentrate. You're coming through my
Oh,
microphone.
dude.
So anyway, it sounds like they were having block parties in some places in South Philly, I read.
Oh, yeah, all the time,
When they-
every year.
No, I'm talking about when they fired Kelly. It was like an impromptu party.
But you meant for the parade.
Nah. We haven't been down to the parade in a long time. I do have today's daily news, though, if we need any kind of information to talk about. One of the stories I was able to find on page 9 was gay man slurred and slugged. Says he was attacked by a bunch of soused mummers. Can you imagine a bunch of mummers being drunk on New Year's Day?
Can't believe that.
I know, it's stunning. It's one of those things that I thought... let's see, one guy kept saying, your dog is too... He was walking his dog. Your dog is too good for you. He was actually walking his parents' dog. Your dog is a little beach. You're a faggot, Holtz said. He was digging at me. So he said, I calmly walked over to the man and asked him to cool it. And then another guy sucker punched him. Clocked him in the face. But they got a picture of the dude, man. He's got a big swollen eye, so something went wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, well, listen, 35 years ago, I got tired of going down there. It was fun when, I did march in the Mummers Parade one year, thanks to my dear friend Helene Conway, who got me in to the Ukrainian-American string band in the year 2001, New Year's 2001. It turned out to be their last year, so I actually contributed to the death of the 47-year-old organization. They had been marching for 47 years. But they were so desperate, that's why they needed people. So I got to march up, had my own outfit, banjo. I played 2 chords, and we finished tied for 17th place, but there was only 18 string bands, so you could look at that like we were tied for last. Now, they finished last the year before, so tying for last was sort of an improvement. So I didn't want to take too many bows for that, but
Yeah, my
somehow.
grandfather on my mother's side had a comic section.
Yeah, though that's mostly the drunks.
Supposedly, the whole basement there in South Philly was full of all costumes and parasols and all kinds of mummers gear.
They spend a lot of money, man. I mean, they
Yeah.
spend like $100,000. The string bands, especially, and I guess the fancies and all too. I mean, I never sit through that anymore. But
Well, my brother used to live right above his store on Broad Street, across the street from Southern,
right,
or they call that South Philadelphia High now.
the old South Catholic. You mean Bishop Newman?
No, South Philadelphia High School on Broad Street.
Okay.
It's on Broad between Jackson and Snyder.
Oh, okay, that's up further than I thought. Yeah.
We used to watch from his windows. Giovanni Optical was downstairs.
How nice. Now that was kind of fun, right?
Yeah, it was a big party, and you got to stay warm, and it's cool. The whole family would show up there, plus all friends, and I
My-
drank much of my life.
Yeah, as an adult, I never had that opportunity. But when I was a kid, my Uncle Bill and Aunt Dot and my 12 cousins, they had 12 kids, lived in a brownstone down in South Philly. And we'd go down every New Year's Day for, I don't know how many years it was in a row, but it was a few years when I was really young. So now I'm talking about being like maybe 9 years old, running the streets of South Philly with my cousins.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't from now at least they were from the neighborhood, but excuse me, we'd be in and out of people's homes, people feeding us. It was just one big party. I mean, I can't, you can't imagine allowing your 9-year-old to run around the streets of South Philly during a Mummers Parade today.
I remember doing that with my cousins, Mike. And I was never allowed out at night. But, once the parents got to drinking a little bit, they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, well, they all go down 2nd Street, so I've never made the 2nd Street party. It's just seen pictures of it.
Everybody's crazy down there. I remember my uncles blowing out the windows of the public school on McClellan Street.
Wow. That was part of the celebration, huh?
Things are a little different down there.
Well, they still fire guns in the air, I understand. I don't know what happened this New Year's Eve. So, I guess that's a little bit of South Philly, but they have that. You see that around the city, Fishtown and Port Richmond and all. There's always stories, although I didn't see one this morning in the Daily News yet. But there's always stories about somebody getting hit with a stray bullet, usually an innocent child or something.
Yeah, but my uncle had bought the optical store from my brother. He passed away and his sons took over, and they lock up the store on New Year's Day because they don't want all that traffic going in and out.
Ah, yeah, right. Oh, my God. Plus, like we were talking about, I mean, most of the crowd is drunk.
That was tradition. The
worst part. What's that?
That was tradition. The whole family would be down there.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of noise here with the Daily News, but yeah. Same thing. It was great. I mean, I was saying about my Uncle Bill and Aunt Dot. I mean, their home was like the hub of activity New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Everybody was down there. My Aunt Dot used to sit on the 3rd floor and not move for like 10 hours. She'd watch the whole thing, but it was like great. Like being live, in the, like you said, in the comfort of your nice warm house.
Yep.
So.
Last time I was down there, Mike, was the year before they allowed women in it.
Okay.
Because my cousin was trying to recruit my wife and some other women down there for the following year.
Yeah, I see a lot of women in it now, but...
yeah, there's a lot. Might even be even up by now.
Yeah, well, they had to do it. When the year that I was in it, there was a couple young guys that they recruited, and I had some conversations with them. Obviously, I made it to 1 or 2 practices, and the one kid, I'll never forget, he said to me, "It's not that his friends don't go to the mummers; they run from the mummers." It was like they've got negative interest in the whole parade and tradition. We'll have to get you a hospital bed. So, but like I said, if it wasn't for Helene, I would have never marched. So, one of my bucket list goals came true. I got to march in a Mummers Parade. So now I can say I've walked in the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Philly, and I've participated in the Mummers Parade in Philly.
Because you were up in Doylestown too, weren't you?
What do you mean Doylestown?
I remember you being in some kind of parade for Ramagali and...
No, through Middletown.
Middletown?
Yeah, the 4th of July parade. We walked in that every year.
You're a real parade guy.
It turned out that way. In my old age, I've turned into Mr. Parade. I didn't really think of it before this conversation, but I think you're right, Dan. I'm going to have to remember that now. It's something that I can put on my resume.
Here you go.
Mr. Parade guy. Well, the 4th of July parade in Middletown is kind of fun because I get to do it with the people I've been working with and known for 8 years, and they have a lot of fun with it. So, but that's almost work, man. 4th of July, there's been a couple of those days where it was like 95 degrees, But the Mummers and the Thanksgiving Day parade was like just fun. Really good time.
I remember seeing a picture of you, Shrammy, I think Billy Conway. It appeared like you were on Packer Avenue. Just being crazy.
Yeah, that's a good memory. Yeah, that was like first thing in the morning. But, I've been down there, like you said, you haven't been down there forever, but besides being in the parade in 2001, I've gone down there once or twice with Billy. Billy, Victor, Jammer, Timmy Schramm, and I'm forgetting somebody, maybe Tom Durkin. But there's a small handful of guys that they go down every year. But Matt used to be in it too, so I think Matt was one of the people that got me in that 2001 parade.
I think Goldie used to be in it 2 years ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll check with him. I get to talk to him sometimes. Of course, it's usually golf.
With the New Year's parties at Knights of Columbus every year, Kathy used to dance in one of the mummers' outfits, who I assumed she got from Jimmy.
Kathy, his sister?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I used to go to their New Year's party every year. Every year she did the same thing.
Well, yeah, I got no memory of that. So she wasn't in the parade, though, right? This wasn't part of...
No, I don't think so.
That was before they let women in.
Just like, I don't know, sometime in the 70s. Going into the 80s, somewhere around in there.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember when they let women in. Do you? I wouldn't be able to pinpoint that anyway.
I don't. People seem to love it, and it brings out over 1 million people every year.
No way. They're not getting 1 million people down there.
Yeah.
No way. All right, I'm breaking out the Daily News here. See if they mention it. But that's like most things. If you make it more inclusive, it usually can... it changes it forever. But how about Steve Harvey announcing the wrong winner in Miss Universe or whatever contest that was?
Yeah, and they got so many different things, they're...
Great memes.
One of them, on there says, Eagles go to the playoffs, all kinds of shit.
Chip Kelly named Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of good... It made for a lot of good memes. So, I don't know, but... I understand he said that it was on the card. I didn't really read the story, to be honest. I just thought it was funny. I'm a big fan of Steve Harvey. Funny guy.
Yes, he is.
One of the kings of comedy. All right, brother. Take care of yourself, Denny.
You too, Mike.
All right? I'll talk to you soon, pal.
Here.
And listen, from everybody in the Fat Hat Radio family, I wanted to wish you a belated happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, so take care of yourself.
Up with all the rest of you.
Yeah, you caught us, right. That's exactly right. So you caught up to me, I'm happy to say.
Alrighty.
Because you talk like that. Okay, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks, pal. You too.
Bye.
All right, folks. We're going to take a little break. And hopefully on the flip side of this song, we'll hear from our friend... Big Frank, the answer man of life. You're listening to Fat Hat Radio for the time being on Live 365.
Aim on the answer man of life will eliminate your daily strife. No need to kill your husband or wife. The AMO will fix your crazy life.
Hey, Happy New Year, partner.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Oh, man. So I was complaining to Denny about being sick all week, but he sounds worse than me, so I had to stop complaining to him.
This is the first week in a long time I haven't been sick, so...
Well,
although 2016, I think it's time to put the answer man out the pasture.
Yeah, right. The answer man probably needs a little bit of rest and relaxation at a spa somewhere.
Really. Sick of the Pope bothering me every 15 minutes with a question or a problem.
Well, listen, he's got a lot on his plate, so it's thank God he's got you to turn to.
Yeah, well, I can't be the only guy he turns to.
No, he may have other sources. I never hear from him, but I'm sure the checks.
Well, as often as he calls me, I don't think so.
Well, he might check in with Donald Trump.
I get the impression I'm it.
No.
Oh.
I seriously doubt it, but you are it. I do have a text here, though, from Dennis. He looked up the attendance this year. He was a little off. Then he thought they still got 1 million people. I'm pretty sure that's what he said at the Mummers Parade. But this year's attendance was approximately 115,000.
So it was 90% off.
Yeah. Well, he was within 90%. Or within 10%. I guess I'm doing that backwards.
Right.
But I did get to share with him that I was in the parade myself. The 2001 Mummers Parade, thanks to Matt Conway and Helene Brown Conway. Yep, they got me into the Ukrainian-American String Band. It was their 47th and last year, so I helped bury the Ukrainian-American String Band.
The Taylor pork roll float?
No, it was the Hog Wild, baby. That was the theme.
Hog Wild.
Hog Wild. So it was, guys, it was about motorcycles and leather gangs, you know?
Yeah.
Not a kinky thing. I mean, like back in the old Hells Angels.
Did I ever tell you my criteria for finding out whether or not somebody is really a biker? All these guys that ride around on their Harleys.
No. You got a surefire way of telling?
Yeah. If I can't bang their old lady, they ain't a biker.
If you can't bang their old lady, or they can't?
If I can't, then they're not really a biker.
Oh, okay. Because bikers, what, they share their old ladies?
Yeah, come on. You want some of that? Go ahead. I'm going to get me a beer.
I've never, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the outside looking in now. I was never that cool. Or I was
Their
never
mama,
that bad.
you know.
Never
Their
badass.
mama.
Their mama. Like motorcycle mama?
Motorcycle. Where do you think it comes from?
Right. Now that you said that, I do recognize motorcycle mama. Like
God.
Bow Tie Daddy. I should look Bow Tie Daddy up. That's one of my favorites. Old Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention song.
Well, it feels like winter out there today, I'll tell you that.
It's back, baby. Winter is back for a while, which means the golf club's got to go away.
Yeah.
A little disappointed at that part of it, but...
Yeah, I'm going to polish mine up and put them away.
You know, when you talk about polishing up, you're talking about your golf clubs, I hope.
Well, when I talk about my putter, I'm not talking about my golf clubs, I'll tell you that.
All right. That was where I was afraid of. That's where I was afraid that would go. So...
Saw that one coming.
Yeah. I felt that one coming. Did you, when's the last time you were down to Mummers?
No, I've never been to the Mummers.
Never been to a Mummers Parade, huh?
No. I'd be afraid.
Yeah. Well, I had them, yeah, really, and for pretty good reason, honestly. That's a pretty weird place. But when I was a child, I was saying this to Denny, we had, and Denny had the same experience. His brother had a store down in South Broad, so we had times in our lives. Now, Denny's experience, we were older, but my experience was when I was like 9 years old, and we used to run the streets down there. I used to run the streets down there with my cousins. We'd be in and out of houses, people we don't know, you know, eating food, strangers' homes. Everybody's house is open. Everybody's feeding and drinking each other. It was really great. You know, I don't know if they do, how much of that goes on today. I'm sure there's still a little bit of it goes on. But I can't imagine letting your 9-year-old run around the streets in South Philly on a New Year's Day like you would do it in the, you know, late 50s and early 60s. And then I was in the 2001 parade. I already mentioned that. And then I had gone down there a few times. Now, one time I went down there with the Morrises, and they sat in the Broad Street circle there on the benches. You have to get those tickets early.
Right.
And Binky, I think Bink used to be the one. It was either Bink or Sweetie. Teresa used to get the tickets every year. So one year, Aim and I went down with them, and that was kind of fun because you're like in a little protected area. You were able to get to the outhouses, whatever you call them, porta potties. You know, you
right.
had there was a kind of like enough of them there, and you didn't have to fight the crowds. But going down there and walking through the general populace with everybody drunk, and the mummers, the comics are the worst. So,
I can imagine.
oh my God! First of all, I hate unfunny comics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give anybody an E for effort. You know, if you have something and you think it's funny and you're trying to be funny, as long as it's not stupid cruel. You know, some people think comedy is cruel, and it is, because there's always a victim. But, you know, picking on people beneath you is kind of like lame. But speaking of drunk comic mummers, page 9 of the Daily News this morning, a guy reported to the police. They got a picture of him with a big swollen eye. He was walking his parents' dog, and a bunch of drunk mummers who were urinating in the alley approached him, and he is gay apparently, started calling him a faggot, and sucker punched him. Happy New Year.
Welcome to South Philly.
Yeah, here we are. And they.
Well, my only parade experience is one year when Eileen was working at Gimbel's for the holiday season. She would work to pick up extra money.
Mm-hmm.
She sucked me into going with her to be a balloon handler on a Thanksgiving Day parade.
Wow.
And let me tell you how cold that day was. I've never forgiven her for that.
You know what? I've walked in the Thanksgiving Day parade twice, and Kevin went down with me the one time, and he was only about 9 or 10 years old. He was just old enough to know the real Santa Claus story, so he was still pretty young. And we marched inside, but it was nice because I didn't really have anything to do. I was just like walking 7-Eleven. It was when I was with 7-Eleven in marketing, and we sponsored a float for a couple of years. And I happened to be in the sales and promotions manager position at the right time. So I was able to walk inside the parade. Now, you got to be down there like 4:30 in the morning. So you remember that being your experience with the balloon handler?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
yeah.
And they're giving you
Brutal.
instructions. And like, it's all volunteers, so the people that are supervising it are volunteers too. So it's like most people who are giving up their time. But it's amazing how a little bit of power can go to some people's heads.
Oh, yeah.
I can still
Eileen needs this kind of thing up. I mean, she'll volunteer for anything.
Right. Well,
and she was happier in a pig and poop. And I'm just looking for somebody to strangle, you know.
Right. She's got a heart of gold, whereas your heart may be a little more hard.
I have no heart, okay?
You have a heart, Frank. It's just...
I have a lump of anthracite in my chest.
I got to go look up the Grinch and see what his heart was made of. It was like 2 sizes too small or something like that.
I think if I remember correctly, our balloon was Dr. Seuss' Cat in the Hat.
There you go. One of my favorites.
I think that was our balloon, if I remember correctly.
I know. I was always disappointed. Like, Kevin was okay with Dr. Seuss, but I always loved reading Dr. Seuss to him, and he got tired of it pretty quick. But the Cat in the Hat and...
I mean, look, when you're 14, you're not going to tolerate that for long, you know?
I know. Well, I would read it to him now, but he don't want no parts of it. He sounds good, though. I got to talk to him this week, texting with him.
Good.
Yeah, so I was happy for that. That's one of the things I'm counting as blessings.
You know, I'll probably hear from Eileen tomorrow. She usually calls on Sunday morning, like clockwork.
Days of our lives. Well, they were somewhere. I saw a picture of her and Don on Facebook. So I think they're traveling again. Although they weren't skiing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a ski thing. They're somewhere warm.
No, but they're going skiing soon, I know.
Yeah, that's a every year thing, I think.
Yeah, they were up in Tampa.
They were up in
Tampa for Christmas.
That's what it was. It was Tampa.
You know, I haven't had a vacation since 1984 when I went to the Bahamas.
There you go.
I don't, where I've been like overnight somewhere. I don't consider hospital stays vacations.
No, I wouldn't.
But outside of that, 1984, when I went to the Bahamas with Louisa, and before that, Eileen and I went to Jamaica, and before that, me and Eileen and Jack and Annie went to outside of Montreal. That's been the history of my vacations in my adult life.
Right. Well, I would have to ask you this. What would you be vacationing from?
Well, see, no, I resent that. I mean,
You do?
I'm the hardest working man you know.
Resent or resemble?
Resent.
Oh.
You couldn't keep up with me. You're the one that's always crying about how busy you are. My God.
I am?
You're always moaning. Oh, I don't have time for anything. I'm so busy.
Well, the only time I ever say I don't have time for anything is when I'm listening to your bullshit. That's probably
Right. About the things you should be doing. Right. That's right.
I don't have time to listen to that because there's only 24 hours in a day. Excuse me.
You're unbelievable.
Here I am fighting through a cold just to be on Fat Hat Radio so I can be talking to you. And what do? You criticize me as being weak.
Feckless. You're feckless.
Feckless. That's the word.
I love that word.
Well, that's a 2015 word now. Feckless.
Did you see? Did you hear the story about that? So apparently, Iowa State is playing football today or yesterday or tomorrow against some team, and Carly Fiorina, who went somewhere else, I think Ohio or Stanford or some shit. Pardon my French. She tweeted, "Love my alma mater or my alumni, but pulling for Iowa today." Nothing like panhandling. I mean, pandering.
Well, Carly.
Boy, is she getting a raft of crap back on it too, man. They are dumping on her.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Oh man, they let loose.
Well, Iowa got crushed yesterday. I forget who they played, but they didn't fare well. I was over my sister and my brother-in-law Mike's had a nice day yesterday over there, hanging out for a few hours with my nephew, and my nieces were there. It was very nice. Had the lucky Pennsylvania Dutch pork and sauerkraut dinner.
Ooh.
My sister made up. So
Ooh,
kept the
can't get enough of
tradition
that.
going. I know. Well, we believed in that. My mom did. My grandmom did it. My mom did it. Now my sister takes care of it. So I make sure every New Year's we got I get to eat some pork and sauerkraut for good luck.
Wow.
I was just reading online last night where that came from, but that's an old German tradition.
Now, I had somebody hit me with something interesting about food the other day. Now, you tell me what you think about this. So this guy sends me this picture of like about 40 different kinds of regional hot dog concoctions. In other words, you got the standard with your sauerkraut and mustard, and there's some Mexican variation with,
chili, Texas
guacamole, some crap.
Texas
so
Tommy.
then there was one. So people said, so the question was, how do you like your hot dogs? Okay, and one guy wrote, well, blah blah blah, mustard and mayonnaise, but no ketchup unless you're under 8 years old. And he said something about something, and I wrote back and I said, yeah, this from a guy who puts mayonnaise on a hot dog.
I don't know how.
And then he wrote back and he said, well, let me ask you a question. And he got me on this one. What's the difference between a hot dog and bologna? And let me tell you how many fried bologna and mayonnaise sandwiches I've eaten in my life.
How about that? He had a comeback for the answer man.
Yeah, and he was right. I mean, but I wrote back and I said, well, I think it's a visual.
Maybe.
I just can't picture mayonnaise on a hot dog.
Well, I didn't even think of that. I'm glad you brought that up, so I won't be able to get rid of that for a while. But I've never thought of mayonnaise on a hot dog. Mustard.
No, but fried bologna sandwiches, come on, man. On white bread, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm never.
Oh, don't even adulterate it with cheese. Just straight bologna. Dietz and Watson beef bologna. Oh yes, I do know how to live.
Yeah, and living and dying with fried bologna sandwiches.
I haven't had one in, God, it's got to be 3 weeks.
Well, I don't know that I've ever eaten a fried bologna sandwich. I guess I'm
really?
I'm going to catch some grief for that. Yes.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
On white bread with mayonnaise.
And you got to make it so. I mean, and it's got to be like because of the way it buckles, the part that hits the pan has got to turn black. It's just a little piece from the way it bubbles, but that's got to be black.
Well, aren't you allowed
nice and crunchy.
Don't you slice it so it don't bubble up and cooks even like you do with...
No, I do that with
pork
pork roll, but not with bologna. Because you got to get that black portion. You got to get that.
Okay.
But when I do my Taylor pork roll, I just put little slits on the very edges of the pork roll.
Right, so it stays flat. I just had... Amelia and I had pork roll sandwiches this morning on rye bread.
Yeah, I had it the day before yesterday.
Another New Year's tradition.
Love my pork roll. Can't get enough.
Taylor.
Got to be Taylor, though.
Taylor.
None of this Hatfield crap.
Oh, Hatfield's a joke.
Same people that eat Hatfield scrapple. You got to be kidding me. There is only but one scrapple on the planet.
Haversets.
Absolutely.
Dietz and Watson. Dietz and Watson has a decent scrapple, and the Pennsylvania Dutch, the stuff that they make at the Amish market and all.
Yeah, well, I go to a guy here. He has a pork shop. That's all he sells. Every morning he gets up and he butchers his pork, his pigs, brings everything into his little store. It's about half the size of my office. And boy, that guy makes it. But you talk about greasy. It's the greasiest scrapple I've ever had. But man, it's good.
Guessing he's not a Muslim, right?
But commercial, you got to go. You got to go with Haversack.
I got a text here from
And
David.
then who eats beef scrapple? What is that?
That's not good. I've had it. That is not good.
I can imagine.
That's not worth the effort. But now, did you ever eat mayonnaise on a cheesesteak?
Oh, I love mayonnaise on a cheesesteak.
I'm going to have to admit this.
I bet 90% of mine are with mayonnaise. Cheesesteak hoagie with mayonnaise, but I put oil and vinegar too.
Yeah, I don't.
Just a drop.
Right. Yeah. Well, Denny.
I love mayonnaise on a cheesesteak. Even a mushroom cheesesteak is good with mayonnaise.
Yeah, why not? Well, it grosses Denny out. So everybody's got different tastes.
Really?
Know? Well, he said his ex-wife used to put it on. Used to gross him out.
No, as long as it ain't Miracle Whip, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's
like,
not mayonnaise, though. That's not mayonnaise.
No. But anything that's not Hellman's isn't mayonnaise either. You know, like Kraft mayonnaise. Come on. Where do people dream this stuff up?
I don't know, Frank. It's terrible. And you know what? You can't do everything, pal. You can't be changing the whole world. You can't be responsible for everybody's
Mike, but I'm obligated to try.
Choices.
I have to try, though.
Excuse me.
I mean, this stuff rests on my shoulders, and I just can't slough it off like it's nothing. I gotta give it the college try.
See if we can make a little more noise here. Yeah, well, I think that the world appreciates that, Frank. Because if you weren't doing it, who's going to do it?
They depend on me.
Oh, I see that. I see that mostly. Well, actually, I hear it mostly from you. But why would you lie to me? Why would you lie to me about that?
If my lips are moving, I'm lying.
That's what they say.
I'm a lawyer.
That's what they say. Oh man! So they fired Chip Kelly.
Yes.
And people are rejoicing everywhere. I talked to another season ticket holder since I talked to you during the week, and he was ecstatic also that he was gone. And there's a couple season ticket holders, friends like Krabs and my cousin Tommy, who I didn't need to talk to because they had already expressed to me that they were looking for him to get fired weeks before he did. So...
Well, I mean, you know me in football. I mean, I really couldn't care less. And I mean,
you're sort of like an anti-football.
But he didn't strike me as having anything on the ball.
No, I think he's got a lot on the ball, but he just can't coach. He wasn't ready to coach men. That's all he's got.
Well, wait a minute now. Part of the problem is half of those guys he's coaching ain't men. Okay, they're giant babies. Okay, all they do is piss and moan about everything. And I'm sure Laurie was calling players up and asking for their feedback. And I'm sure they dumped all over that guy.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Yeah, I'm sure you could find that anywhere.
Of course.
It's
just human nature.
Well, anywhere you're losing.
People like to screw the boss. That's just the way it is. And even though Laurie's the boss, if you're an on-field person, the coach is your boss.
Right. You're reporting to the coach.
Right.
But yeah, you could always find clubhouse lawyers, but they only come out of the woodwork when you're losing. That's the thing. They're winning papers over everything, And
the Eagles are going nowhere. I mean, not next year, not the year after. They're going nowhere.
Listen, I got my son who agrees with you 1,000%. He thinks that's the funniest thing in the world. He sends me some great memes because anytime he sees,
I don't care who they hire,
anything on the Eagles, Kevin will send me anything to badmouth the Eagles. Well, you know what? Honestly, I kind of have a good idea of how much football knowledge you have. So
None.
Yeah, so I'm not paying much attention.
But you know what? I could coach as good as Chip Kelly could. Okay.
Backgammon.
You think my record would have been any worse than his? You throw the guys out on the field, you flip a coin, you know, you got as good a chance of winning as you do losing. I mean, come on.
No, I'm sure you could have done just as well. I don't know what I was thinking. What else we got going on this week?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just
the world, life.
Working myself to the bone, man. I'm just trying to get my stuff done so I don't. This is my last year for work. I'm not working after this.
All right.
I'm done.
Yeah, no, I wasn't asking you to complain. I was just.
I'm not complaining. I'm just sort of like I was hoping I'd have it all done by now, and I don't. I mean, the Live 365 thing was a real kick in the groin.
Yeah, how about that Live 365 thing?
I'm really aggravated, especially now that I know they're going to bill me in 2 days, and I'm going to call my bank and tell them. Normally it's the kind of thing, $100, it's not worth the aggravation, and I would just say, okay, I was there 7 years or whatever, take my $100. But no, if they would have just sent me an email saying, well, you're still under contract, we're going to take your money until the last day, fine, but don't lock me out of my account so I can't change my billing information. I mean, that's so low rent.
That is low rent. So you can't get into your account that you know what? I didn't even try to do that.
No, it takes you just to listen to the radio page,
Well, I guess they're going to charge
seriously.
me too.
Huh?
I guess they're going to charge me too.
Of course, they're going to what? They're going to let somebody slide. They're going to suck every penny they can out. That's what corporations do.
Well, in case anybody is listening, and they don't know the story, the day before New Year's Eve, right, the 30th, we got an email, and I thought it was some end of the year, happy New Year, thanks for being part of the team. We're all getting this together. Let's have fun. And I didn't read it. And then you called to tell me that these a-holes have lost their funding. So we got to move on to another platform.
I mean, it wouldn't be something, because I think in the end the licensing thing may get worked out. I think Congress will probably force the licensing board to not eliminate all these small broadcasters like us. That's what happened last time. But even if that gets squared away, if they've lost their investors and their funding, they're still not going to be able to stay on the air. Although, like we figured out, they're making about $500,000 a month. So I would think that you'd be able to stay on board at some level with that kind of money. But,
Yeah, I said that to, I was talking to Eddie off the air, and I was laughing with him because when I told him about the letter, I mean, he was laughing. I was like, what the hell? But, I said, you did a quick thing in your head thinking that these guys are probably bringing in, revenue-wise, $500,000 a month. You would think they'd maybe it'll make that work.
You'd think.
I don't know what their expenses could be, but...
Not me either. I mean, it's, basically it's servers. I mean, servers are, when you buy them by the hundreds, they're just not that much money. And, little support staff, little administrative staff, I just don't see, I don't know, I don't get it. But we're the little guys, nobody's looking out for us.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think I found us a good substitute. As a matter of fact, I'm still even investigating a couple other places that may be a little bit less money. But you know me, I'm not as concerned about the money as I am getting what I need.
Well,
easy as possible.
The one you found that we're talking about, because I'm going to follow you on to whatever you're doing here. I did like a couple of things the couple of highlights you gave me. I like the idea of commercial free. I like the idea of our dedicated apps, which is
but
nice.
You would have had commercial free if you would have paid what I'm paying at Live 365. You don't want to pay that money.
Yeah, but I'm pretty much commercial free anyway. The only time I get commercials is the 30-second one that runs when you try to get on.
Right, but to me, I find that extremely annoying and degrading. I could never put up with that.
Degrading? It's
yeah.
a little strong.
Well, it's how I find it.
Find it.
I'm peculiar and particular, if not idiosyncratic.
You're not feckless, though, right?
What's that?
You're not feckless.
No, I am not feckless. I am in your face. I am never feckless.
That counts for something.
So yeah, I mean, I figured it out, and I got they put up the new rates for 2016, which people thought were going to go skyrocketing. They went up about $20, so it's going to cost me about $140 a month to be on the air. So what is that? $3 a day, basically, $3.50 a day. I don't care because I'll sell enough ads to at least pay for that. I've already got a few people lined up for $20, $30 a month. So, and I don't mind taking some out of my pocket to do what I want to do.
Oops.
Hey, if that's for me, I'm not here.
Hold on, let me check. Yep, it's the police. I'm sorry, buddy. Where were we? The phone took me off my game here.
Just talking about the money. But like I've told you, I mean, especially now having that little app, I would endeavor to monetize my station at least to the point of what it was costing me to run it.
Yeah.
You don't want to make any money, that's fine, but you should at least try to cover your nut. But then again, you're rich, so what do you care?
Yeah, I don't have that kind of money. I don't have your kind of money, Frank. I can't be having these times when I'm just saying, hey, $100 here, $100 there. Who cares? I've got to invest it wisely. I've still got Mike Bergen Realtor to worry about.
Well, that's true.
We're going to have to get
That's
past
true.
that first. But, yeah, well, getting back to that.
Speaking
so
of money,
wait a minute.
Speaking of money,
Money.
I'm still waiting to send you the C note for Beards for Bella.
Thank you for mentioning that, yes.
I am not doing that until I see where you have put up the racetrack money, the website money from last month, the website money from this month. I want to see my name on the tally sheet as what I've contributed already, and then I will forward you the $100.
Yeah, that's a lot of rules. So here's what
Come
I'm
on,
thinking.
it's what we agreed to. It ain't rules. It's the agreement we had.
First of all, you added stuff onto there. So
I've added an extra $50 that I'm giving you is what I've added.
All right, let's slow it down, okay? First of all, you're in for 100 no matter what else happens.
That's true.
Then on top of that,
I committed to that.
I've got and Chuck gave me a website that I haven't checked with yet, but he sent me a website that I can apparently go back. He said I can go back and find the winners that day. So I did.
Let's just call it $50, okay?
So I did find the tickets. I'm not sure that's a $50 winner.
I think so.
I don't remember winning, but you told me I said it did. So if I
But I forget something like that, me winning a horse race, man, come on.
I'm not sure.
You were thrilled too. You were like you couldn't believe it.
And I don't have. I didn't see the invoice for the last 2 months.
Wait a minute. I sent you the invoice for December once and 3 reminders, and I haven't sent. And I think I sent you January's about a week ago.
All right. Well, here's the good news. I'm looking at my email here. Not that I'm not fascinated by everything you're telling me, but excuse me. Sorry about that. But I see here that Joanne has just donated for Mark. Now, Mark Schaefer was the first guy, when I told him the story about Beards for Bella, he said, well, put me in for $50. And I said, you know what? You're the first guy to volunteer, so I want to make sure that you're the first guy on the list because I think that'll be good luck. And the reason I haven't hit you up for your 100 is because Mark's wasn't in. So I sent Joanne, Mark's wife, email, sort of a reminder. I didn't mean to be pushy, but I was afraid that maybe he donated and it went into somebody else's kitty. So I just 10:23. Joanne just sent me an email a little while ago. She donated for Mark and used his card, which is kind of cute. That was kind of funny. So this is what married couples do, right? So anyway,
Sure.
Anyway, I should go when I check after the show today. I'm going to check my Beards for Bella. I'm sure that $50 will be in there from Mark and Joanne, and then I'll be calling you so that you can put your 100 in. I'll be sending you the link. If I haven't sent you the link,
you're gonna call me to tell me you've put your 100 in for me, and then I'm putting my 100 in for me.
What 100 do I have for you?
50 from the race, 25 for last month's web hosting, $25 for this month's web hosting.
Now listen,
I'm donating that also.
If I'm not mistaken,
when does that thing close?
May 6th.
Well, I will donate your web hosting every month up to and including the month of May.
All right, that sounds good. We'll take you up on
But
that.
you got to put it up. You got to do it.
Hey, relax, okay? We're going to take care of this.
We've been talking about this for a month.
Well, no. I told you from the get-go I wasn't going to get serious on this till after the first. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I have 4 months here to collect money, and my beard is just coming in. Plus, excuse me, I'm competing against all these young guys. They've got all these dark beards coming in. They look great. I look
But Michael,
like
we don't
bum.
care about the beard. We care about how much money you raise.
No, of course.
Well, you care about the beard because, like,
I
you
gotta
like to
wear
grow
it
it at least once in your life.
Oh, I gotta wear it. That's the problem.
All I know is I want to be number one on the tally board on May 6th. That's all I know.
All right. Well, I want to see that too. So hopefully you'll get some challenges. We'll see if we can find somebody to push you a little bit.
Well, that's why I'm doing it, because I know there's a few people out there that would love to try to beat me.
Well, somebody should. But anyway, we'll get that in today. So I want to get this going on, so this way I can get.
Before I run out of money.
Yeah, I want to get your money in before you run out of money. Is right.
That's right. I got my VA and my Social Security yesterday, so good.
All right. Well, good. We'll get that. We'll get that done today.
All right.
And I'll put the 50
So
in
how
for the
many other
web
people
hosting.
do we have?
And you can send me a receipt.
Okay, how many other people do we have now?
For Beards for Bella?
Yeah.
Nobody.
On you, supporting you.
Nobody yet. But we haven't rattled any cages. There's plenty. I'm confident that we have a few people that'll kick in a couple bucks.
Well, I know why that is, Mike. I know why that is. Why we don't have anybody else.
Because I haven't been talking about it.
No, because you're so busy.
Who's busy?
You're so incredibly busy.
I'm
You're
busy.
always busy.
I'm busy with life. I do stay busy. You're right. I mean, I do stay busy, but I'm never too busy to raise money for Beards for Bella.
All right. Well,
it's actually Beats for Bella, but this is the Beards for Bella fundraiser.
I understand.
So, and it is a 50. Was it a 503c? Right, the charitable.
I don't need the tax deduction.
Okay.
That's not my concern.
All right, just saying that, just in case anybody's
My
listening out there
concern,
who wants
you know,
to
it's
get
like
involved.
it's like with Connie this year and her daughter and her grandson and her niece, my niece. Like, this is the first year I was actually able to, like, just give everybody money. I mean, did I tell you what I did with the Secret Santa?
I don't
think
know.
I did.
First of all, before we get off of that, I didn't get my money. Did I get a card?
I went to, look, you're not going to believe, I had to do this to see what it felt like because a friend of mine wrote me and told me that he did it. It was like the weirdest thing he ever did. I took 5 $50 bills that went to Salvation Army where people go and shop for, like, used clothes and all.
Uh-huh.
And I looked for, like, what looked like the saddest people in the place. And I gave 5 different people a $50 bill and said, this is from Santa for you, for Michael. 2 of them I thought were going to call the police.
Really? Well,
Oh, yeah. It was the weirdest thing I ever did in my life. It was nothing like I thought the experience was going to be, and I would never do it again.
Wow. So you freaked people out, huh?
Yeah. I had my little Santa hat on, my Army field jacket, my camouflage field jacket, and my Santa hat.
Oh.
And I tried to be real low-key. I mean, I basically whispered, hey, this is from Santa, hoping, he can make your Christmas a little better. A couple people were genuinely touched, but 2 people were, like, really weird about it. I think they were almost offended that I thought they need... I mean, look, my idea is if you're in Salvation Army, it's not like you're in Macy's, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I would think that... I mean, and again, like I was giving out $500, it's just $50, but I felt good, but I felt very weird doing it. I felt very, very weird. But that's something I've never had a chance to do in my life before, and having just the ability to do stuff, and like I gave every relative money. I sent David money in New York, and I mean, it just felt really good for the first time in a very long time to be able to do that.
That was their holiday season. That's very sweet.
That was what I did. That was my little Christmas gift for the world around me,
All right.
And I told them, I said, look, I'm flush this year. I said, I ain't making no promises for next year. Don't get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing you told him that. I'm sure that took.
I did.
I'm sure that took the edge off the joy.
I'm sorry. Because all I can think of next year, everybody go like, well, where's my money?
Like you owe it to him.
Yeah. Well, that's human nature, too. I got it last year. Why ain't I getting it this year?
Right. That's that entitlement society we live in, Frank. People
That's
get that
right. All
idea.
the takers, Michael.
All the
Nothing but
takers.
takers. Yeah.
All right, listen.
All right. Well,
groove
you
here.
go enjoy the rest of your show. I'm going to get back to work because there's one thing I know about my life. I'm really busy.
You are busy, and I'll tell you what. You just need to take better care of yourself. So you sound like you're doing pretty good. I'm happy for you.
I'm healed this week. My middle name is going to be Mr. Broccoli for the remainder of 2016. All I'm eating is Ensure and broccoli. That's
I'll
it.
be looking forward to hearing more about your broccoli-ness.
I'm going to lose 60 pounds this year.
Well, you can afford it.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm
going to be castrated.
You're not already? I didn't know that didn't happen already. All right. Well, look, I'll be looking forward to you being called Mr. Broccoli. I still have some notes in my file from past times you told me you were going to lose 160 pounds or whatever it is you said.
I'm weak, Michael. I'm a weak man. I'm weak.
You do it, but you're busy.
Yeah.
You do what you can.
Well, it's that Haberset scrapple. I'm only human. Come on.
You're under a lot of stress. All right. Okay, buddy.
All right, well, have a good one.
Thank you, Proud.
I'll talk to you soon. Tell everybody I said hello in Jigger's Corner.
I will do that. Thanks for it's Jigger's Joint, but that's close enough.
Jigger's Joint, gotcha. Okay.
It's on the corner. All right, brother. Thanks for calling in.
All right, talk to you soon.
Good talking to you, Frankie.
All right, bye-bye.
Later. All right, folks. That was our buddy, Big Frank, the Answer Man of Life. Looking out for Fathead Radio. We're going to be on the air thanks to his hard work.
Don't touch that dial, Bunky. We'll be right back.
Hey, we just dropped into Jigger's Joint. The place is jumping, man. We got EJ, Coins, and Don all in the house.
There you go. There you go.
Happy New Year, boys.
I guess you guys already touched on the latest fiasco with the Eagles, right?
Well, we touched on it, but I really didn't think the conversation would be complete until you chimed in.
Well, I don't. I think, bottom line, they said, you're going to not be the GM anymore. And he said, yes, I am. And he said, no, you're not. And that was the end of it.
Yeah, could
and he took his $12 million and took a walk.
Right.
He just did everything he did didn't work out. And they were a bad team. They were a very bad team this year.
They are a bad
And defensively, they were a disgrace. They were a disgrace on defense. But even the offense was terrible. They're just. I don't think Bradford's back. I guess it depends who the coach is going to be. That's going to be interesting. It's not going to be another college guy, though. That's not going to happen.
That ain't going to happen.
It's definitely going to be a pro guy.
Right. And I'm sure it's not going to be anybody who's going to be holding both jobs either.
No.
Not while Laurie owns the team. He's made that mistake twice now.
So what'll probably happen is I don't know if they'll get a head coach, but they'll probably get a big-time assistant guy who's willing to just give it a shot, his first chance, and let somebody else run the team, a GM run the team, whoever that, be it Roseman or whoever, whoever they deem appropriate for that. That's just my 2 cents on the whole thing.
Well, Roseman's doesn't, his history does not look that strong from what I read in the paper, so he's not.
And Mike, let's be realistic. This guy comes down to the locker room. These guys are looking at him like, "Who's this?"
I know, really.
Who's this guy?
I know.
He never had a jock strap on, let alone a football helmet.
Well, when they're showing the clips this week of him throwing the football, it was embarrassing.
Was it?
It was embarrassing watching him. Yeah, he throws like a shot put.
Oh no, he doesn't. Don't tell me that.
I saw him.
As we would say in the old days, he throws like a girl.
Yeah. Can't say that now, though. Can't say that now.
No,
That's
you
what I
can't.
said in the old days.
Well, part of it's
Like, I was
politically
watching-
correct. Part of it's because women play sports now better than a lot of guys. So.
Well, how about I'm watching last night, Mike, they kept running Tonight shows.
I saw that.
Carson,
But it was the same one.
And well, I know one was January. I don't know. I just watched one and fell asleep. But the funny thing is the stuff they were saying. You can't say any of that now. You know, you can't say any of that. And I'm watching the Twilight Zone, and Rod Serling's coming on introducing the next episode with a cigarette. He's like puffing away on a cigarette and introducing. It's just so funny.
Well, you actually reminded me of this, Jimmy. I thought of you when I saw this the other night. Now I'm trying to fall asleep at 2:00 in the morning watching one of these oldie stations. Like you told me about the game show stations. Remember you talked about that about a month ago, right? Yeah. So I checked it out, and it's like, Dorothy Kilgallen and What's My Line and all these old people.
Exactly.
Bennett Cerf.
Right.
So I think I may have told you that I did check that out. Well, I found another station. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the same idea. The Merv Griffin Show from 1978. Sammy Davis Jr. was the guest along with Toady Fields and Abby Dalton or somebody. Sammy Davis was on the entire show. Sammy Davis was on the entire show. He did like 3 or 4 songs. He never had a cigarette out. He was smoking when he was doing the song, when he was singing. He had the cigarette lit in his hand. Never had a cigarette that wasn't lit in his mouth for the probably for the entire hour. I'm sure I missed some of it. But he died of throat cancer too.
I did not know that, but what a surprise then, huh?
Yeah, I Googled it because I was wondering. I wonder how old he was on the show. So when I Googled it, he was like 46, 47 when the show was
How old was
aired.
he when he died, Mike?
He was like 60.
No,
No, he was like 64 or 5. He was like our age, I think. He was in his early 60s.
Is that our age? 64? Wow.
It's around our age.
I just turned it.
It's not Eddie's age.
So Eddie's the young head on this.
Right, he's the youngest guy in the call.
Very young. Very young.
How about a young Ed? Young Ed at 61.
Young Ed.
So Eddie, give me a scoop on this shirt.
Oh, I love the shirt, Ed.
My sister Karen and Devlin went out to visit Scott in Seattle, and had a great time. They went out like the Wednesday before Christmas and got back the other day, and they were in one of these microbreweries, different places, and one of them was serving Eddie beer, and so she had to buy the shirt.
Oh my God!
Did she bring any home with her? Did she grab a sixer for home?
No, and that's why I'd like to order a case or something, see what it tastes like. I'm sure you can get everything now online, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can.
Oh, that's worth it, man. You have got to get a hold of some of that Eddie beer.
So,
sounds delicious.
She brought me back a shirt, and it's a black shirt, like a nice, like an Under Armour type material. And it's got Eddie beer on the front in gold. It's kind of cool. We had some laughs over it. So.
That's funny.
Hey, so Jimmy, listen, on the sports end of it, how about yesterday? It's hard to not like this guy McCaffrey, right? From Stanford.
Right.
Who should have won the Heisman?
Man,
absolutely should have won the Heisman, and it has nothing to do with the other guy. Had to win the Heisman. He does more for his team than Henry, in fact, I think Henry should have been third, and I think the quarterback from Clemson should have been second.
Yeah.
Because he does more, the guy runs the ball. That's all he does.
Yeah.
The other two guys do a whole lot of other stuff.
So you know the whole story with him, right? His father played with Denver.
Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah, we remember
Ed McCaffrey, and his uncle was Billy McCaffrey that played at Duke.
Right.
Pretty
good genes going on there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and his mother was like, I think, an All-American volleyball or basketball. She played some sport.
She was
a college athlete too.
And then there's 2 younger brothers that are supposed to be terrific.
They're supposed to be terrific. Actually, it was funny last night. Murph was here for a beer, and who calls but Speedy. So he calls us to wish me a Happy New Year or whatever. So we're talking for a couple minutes, and it was during the game. And I said to him, I'm watching this. How about this guy, McCaffrey, and then he brought up about, because he said he thought he had a chance before McCaffrey went to Duke to play. When he was at LaSalle, he had recruited him, and he thought he had a shot, but obviously didn't. So.
Play basketball
I'm
too.
thinking a big difference. No disrespect to Speed, because he's my man, but like Duke's campus and LaSalle's campus are a little different, right?
Tough choice there.
So.
He had once Duke got in the mix, he had no shot.
Yeah, that's
let's be realistic.
And then the other thing, which was kind of interesting yesterday, I was talking to Jimmy Bonder. He's just coming off chemo,
right?
So he had a Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. So we've talked pretty much every day, just checking on him. And the good part about coming off the chemo is he's got a couple days in bed, with being sick off of it. And he said at least, New Year's Eve, getting to watch the football games, and then yesterday watching football, I was on the couch. But we got talking about this whole targeting thing, the guy Boza, who got thrown out.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Was
it pretty obvious?
No, actually, I didn't think it was, nor did Jimmy, and Jimmy was way more adamant than me. But then I was driving today, coming back from taking care of a couple things, and I had sports radio, Sirius radio on, and they one of the guys, I didn't know who he played for Alabama. He was one of the guys that was on the show today. I didn't catch his name, but they asked him if you could change anything that in college football today, what would you change? And he said this whole targeting rule.
I agree. I think you might as well have two-hand touch or flag football. I'm getting sick of all these stupid rules. It's football, for God's sake.
Okay, so my purpose
paid millions of dollars for this.
Okay,
well, not the college kids, but go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so, Eddie, one thing which was kind of interesting, though, now, and Jimmy, you played, and Don, I don't know if you ever played football, and, whatever, we all played at some point in time, but that Sunday after Christmas, it was just Denise and I and Kels here, so we went and saw Concussion.
Oh, yeah?
A movie with Will Smith.
Uh-huh.
I tell you what, interesting movie. First off, about the medical end of it, and, it started with Mike Webster, the center for the Steelers, and then Andre Waters, and then Dave Duerson donated his brain, and, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was really kind of interesting, the whole story, the medical end of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you what, the NFL, if half of this is true, the NFL should be ashamed of themselves, but they're not, because it's all about big-time money, man.
Right.
They literally they tried to get this guy deported. They had the FBI.
Really?
Well, if it's 100% true, it's criminal. These guys should all, Tagliabue should run it hot. And the cap now, the commissioner now.
Goodell.
I mean, these guys were, but it's all about money. I mean, that's the whole deal. It's got nothing to do with any, they just care about the money end of it.
And, well, the owners are complicit too, right? All the owners.
Absolutely. Everybody. I mean, they literally discredited this guy. They made him out to be some, witch doctor from Nigeria that didn't know shit about nothing, and everything that and the key with it, like they showed Andre Waters in Manhattan, and this was after he had already been suffering, and Dave Duerson, who was the guy who really the thing came out on, like he was part of the NFL in Manhattan. And you remember Duerson played for Chicago, right?
Played for Bears. Yeah, he played for Notre Dame. He's a Notre Dame guy. Yeah, I know.
Is he really? Well, they show a part of it with him in Manhattan, and Andre Waters is like begging, man, like his head's exploded, and these guys are seeing things. Like Mike Webster was played by the guy Morse, Jimmy, that used to come to the gym over here.
Sure.
David Morse. It was David Morse. Yeah, and so they showed Duerson and Waters like they grew up together, and Andre Waters is like begging him right on the streets of Manhattan, and he's like just pushing him away, and he's in a suit, killer suit, the whole thing, and then he ends up being the one who kills himself, and then leaves a letter to this doctor that I'm donating my brain, and that was really the thing that threw it over the top. So. But it's an interesting movie. If when you talk about like the targeting and this thing, and then you see this movie, boy, I'm telling you what, boy, the brain should get rattled, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and, I don't think, and I've said this, and I don't know if I ever said it to you guys, but I said it 20 years ago. Probably not in our lifetime, but this game will be banned. It'll be banned eventually, pro football. I just think, even money or no money, or they'll have to change the rules significantly. It's just, I remember coaching high school in the mid-'70s, Ed, and when I was playing, you were taught to tackle with your shoulder. When I coached, you were told to tackle with your face mask right in the numbers of the player.
Right.
So you're using your head's right there.
Right.
We were always taught totally different, but now, like, these guys are flying at people, and they are leading. And I don't think they mean it to lead with their heads, but they want them leading with their heads because they lead their feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a play yesterday. God, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm done.
They're talking the same thing with soccer now, using heading the ball with soccer. Same thing.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
What about hockey players?
Yeah. At least they wear helmets now. But hockey, I think any sport other than baseball, you can get hit with a fastball, but that's that going in.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard of any baseball players, and what's the weird part about it is certain people seem to be susceptible to it, whereas other people, play for years and are fine.
Especially after they get their first one. Some guys, it seems like the first one.
Once you get one,
right?
Like last year on Kelsey's team, the one girl was a senior, had a concussion, and now the protocol is like, when all said and done, from the time that you have it to the time that you're released to play, when all said and done, it ends up being at best case scenario, like 3 weeks, like before a kid can come back.
Right.
And Kelsey had another one of her teammates, a month and a half or so ago, and up in a tournament, beginning of the game, got hit, went down, hit her head, ended up having a concussion, missed school for 2 weeks. And then just came back playing, so she was out a month. So with all the protocol with it now, like, you can't speed that process up. Like, it's not like, well, I'm feeling okay, I don't have a headache, I'm not seeing stars or anything. Okay, you can play on Tuesday. No, it's like you need a certain amount of time in between. But it was just interesting if you guys get a chance and you see this movie. It really is violent, man.
You told us the whole movie, so I guess we don't have to go now.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. You ain't good. Listen, trust me, your coins. You ain't paying to go see it. You're going to wait until it comes on TV.
Who was he kidding?
You are correct. You are completely correct, then.
You can't be serious about that.
But I tell you what, Will Smith is great in it. So.
Yeah. Well, he was on. I was like falling asleep, and Fran had the TV on upstairs, and he was on last night, and he was talking about it. Talking about the movie and how he's a football guy, and his son plays football, and he was talking about all that stuff. But he said, there was a lot of stuff that went on, like you described,
right?
And it's something that needs to be told.
Well, we lived through that, man. We remember that, Webster and Andre Waters killing himself.
Oh yeah,
right. I mean, we lived through that. So.
Most recently, how about Junior Seau?
Yeah.
That was within what? I don't know how long. Is it 5 years now?
It's
maybe?
this decade, though.
I don't even think it is.
Yeah,
you know what? It might be because I think don't you need 5 years before you can get put in the Hall of Fame? And he just went into the Hall of Fame.
So it was less than 5 when he did it. Less than 5 when he got out of the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he just went in. Yeah, his daughter that's right. It was the big thing with the daughter speaking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably 5 years ago now, Ed. You're probably right. Yeah,
it's
yes, he did.
Yeah.
So did Andre Waters, right?
Right. Andre
Waters. They all commit suicide.
Shot himself.
Yeah.
Did Webster
Webster committed. I
thought he had ALS or something.
No, well, he could have had multiple things, but he was living in a truck in a yard, like a construction yard, and everybody knew he was living there, and he was just seeing things, and he ended up beside I think what actually killed him, he was like huffing stuff, drugs, different things that it caused him to do, which I guess maybe took away some of the pain or took away something with him. But yeah, it was when they showed the medical behind it, and like they were comparing like two rams like banging heads and like animals that have like this fluid around their brain that protects their brain that humans don't have. It's kind of interesting. How about me getting all medical and shit?
Yeah, and the other guy, the guy who played for the Eagles, who was a fullback, Kevin Turner.
Oh yeah,
He's got ALS, and he seems to think that I don't know how true that. ALS is different, but he went after the NFL. He wanted to get some kind of compensation for that, saying that's how he got ALS. Now I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That he's another guy I'm thinking about who's still actually alive, but having a tough time obviously with ALS.
I talked to a friend of mine. I golf with on Wednesday about all this stuff. He used to play. He used to be a tight end for the Denver Broncos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Orson Mobley.
Oh, sure,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm playing golf with him on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
but Don, what the deal?
Go ahead.
Who does he work for?
He works for the PGA
deal is,
now.
Wow. The deal is these guys, these kids playing now. I mean, if the guys in the pros, if they said, okay, you're going to get this in 20 years, but you're going to make this amount of money. A lot of guys you read in the paper, they're still going to play.
Yeah, they'll make that trade.
They're still going to play football. And, take a chance that I'm not going to get that. The percentage is such that, do you take the shot? I mean, do you take a chance? I guess if you're looking at millions of dollars, then you probably do.
How about the guy from San Fran, the 49ers, that walked away?
Young guy, yeah.
They had. I was.
Yeah.
They had him. That was on yesterday. I was watching that. It was on, I think, at 30:30 yesterday, and he was on saying, I'm walking away because I can.
Yeah.
He said, the further I'm more removed from it, the crazier I think football is what was quote unquote from him yesterday.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's just it is crazy. I mean, it's a crazy game.
Well, like you said, man, I could see it being outlawed, or like before, maybe not before in our lifetime, but
no, I don't know if we'll be around, but
just make so much money. That's the only reason.
Yeah, and they got to change the rules, or they change it just. Do you take face masks back off of people's helmets? I mean, because then you're not going to tackle with your face.
Hey, man, bring back the old leather helmets instead of the hard.
Hey, yeah, I don't know if that's any good, but
I don't know how that helps.
And the difference is, you're talking about guys that are 380, 400 pounds,
flying
running
around
into each other, and then you got guys that are 180 pounds, 190 pounds, and what the one guy was saying was about the linemen. You're hitting each other every play. You're banging heads every play. The linemen. Every play you're getting hit.
Right.
And that's, to your point, Jimmy, that's exactly what they talked about with Webster being the center. That he, every down of every game for whatever he played, 15 years, whatever the amount of time, and that's just in the pros. That doesn't count college and grammar school and CYO and high school. But they said that they kind of diagrammed the field of play, and the center is obviously, and I'm sure it's the guards and the tackles also, they're the most vulnerable because every down they're banging heads. Every down.
Right.
Somebody's at the worst case scenario, somebody's slapping them in the head. They're not helmet to helmet in the head.
Right.
Yeah, because back in the day when Webster played, that was completely legal. At the head slap, they used to slap all the time. And the linemen couldn't even use their hands at all. Now they're allowed, at least inside the numbers, they can use their hands. Before that, you couldn't use your hands at all to block.
Yeah, that was long ago. You had to keep your hands in, right?
Yeah, I mean that was one of the rules. Your hands came outside. That's holding. That was automatically holding. But to get off of that, how about should we break up the Sixers?
Not yet.
I mean,
can I say one thing about that, guys? Let me just go back to something Eddie said, because
sure.
to me, the indictment of the NFL, which spells it out, and Eddie said this about Webster living in the van down by the river or whatever, he was in the truck living in the backyard, and everybody knew it. That means the NFL knew it, right? And what did they do about it? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Right. They let these guys die forever, and they fought them tooth and nail, just like the story. I think Eddie said the story about trying to get rid of the doctor. Yeah, when you're talking about the plot of the movie. Saved Jimmy $17.
Michael,
By the way, I spent $17. Amy and I went to see Star Wars. A lot of fun. $17.50 a ticket, Jimmy. Coins.
Well,
Let me tell you, coins.
Yeah,
look, coins ain't going to that movie. But listen to me. It was $17.50 on the marquee, okay? Amy had a $25 AMC gift card that somebody gave her. I signed up for the AMC club. They didn't take any of my personal information. I got $9 off. It cost us $2.97 for the two of us to go in and see Star Wars.
Now you're talking my language, Mike.
I know.
Now you're talking my
I
language.
knew you'd be proud of me, Jimmy. I thought of you too, bro.
I'm more than proud.
Now we went to the stand and got 2 drinks and a big bag of popcorn. That was $27. But the tickets were $3 to get in by the time we got done using our discounts. All right, sorry.
Mike, I'm going to tell you this, and you guys maybe believe me or not. I have never seen Star Wars.
Neither
have I.
Oh wow,
Jimmy.
Neither have I. None of them.
You're not alone.
You haven't either?
I have never seen a Star Wars movie.
Wow.
I never saw one. I've seen dribs and drabs on TV through the years, and it took my attention for about 3 minutes, and I moved on. I had nothing. It did nothing for me. I'm honest.
Well, the first 3 were great.
Stuff is not interesting to me. I'm sure they were, but Ed, you never saw them either?
I've never seen it. No. But I'm not like a big movie. Like, to me, we watched Hoosiers last night, man, for the 400th time.
Yeah,
I mean, like, there's certain movies that, like, you know.
Oh my God, you reminded me of that, Eddie. Last night I watched about a half hour of The Usual Suspects. Have you ever seen that?
No.
All right, if you guys have never seen The Usual Suspects, you gotta watch it. Isn't that one of the greatest gangster movies of all time? It's not mafia.
Gabriel Byrne, is it Gabriel?
Yes.
Gabriel Byrne?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kevin
that is
Pollak.
A great movie,
That's what's his name? Yeah, I can't think of the name. The dude. Kevin Spacey.
You're
Kevin
absolutely
Spacey's
right.
in it. Chas Palmieri. A lot of good guys in it. Great movie.
Well, here's 4 people, and 3 of us have not seen Star Wars.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
That's hard to believe.
You're like a bunch of old men. But listen, I got something else I've seen. This Star Wars thing was in 3D, okay? So the last time I went to a 3D movie, when we were all still in grade school or something, and they had the paper frame glasses and the 2 lenses, and one was a plastic red one, right, and the plastic green one. Well, now they got 3D glasses, right? You ought to see this 3D. It's phenomenal. It is. It's they ran like first of all, the Star Wars in 3D was great, but they had the previews, and they had like an animation on. I guess it was a Disney or Pixar thing. Phenomenal. I gotta find a kid to take to this thing. I gotta go see this, but I can't possibly. If I go, I'm afraid I'll get arrested. You know, going to these kid movies.
I'm not even sure any of my kids went to any Star Wars movies. Because I didn't go. And I don't know. Did any of your girls go see Star Wars, Ed?
Did your kids know you could go to the movies before they were... Coins, did your kids know they could go to the movies before they were teenagers? Before they could buy their own tickets? They probably didn't even know.
No, they didn't know, and I kept it to myself. I didn't let them know either.
That's good. That's smart, man. Hey, listen, you had to send them to school, man. It cost you guys a fortune sending all those kids to school. You needed to save money somewhere.
Indeed.
That's funny.
It did indeed. Right. But that's okay.
So 3D, man, I'm telling you, this 3D is real 3D. It's real stuff. I mean, it comes out of the screen at you sometimes. It's pretty cool.
Mike, is what's the name in the movie? Harrison Ford?
Yes.
Are all the old guys in it? All the old
Yes.
guys from the first one?
Yes. The guy, the kid, no, nobody's a kid anymore, but the one that played Luke Skywalker, he was, I can't think of his real name. He didn't show up to the very end of the movie. So I think, I expect him to be in the next one. But Harrison Ford won't be in the next one.
There's another one coming.
They got 2 left.
That's another one I won't go see.
They got 2 left, so that's 2 more you can miss. That's right.
Wow. I'll go see Rocky 16 before I see that.
Well, I'm waiting for this last Rocky. Everybody likes that. Got a lot of good reviews. Creed. I'm not going to go.
Got to be on demand, buddy.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not saying it.
No, I wouldn't pay.
I'm an on-demand guy.
I'm not going to pay for Creed.
But you'll go see Star Wars.
But I'd go see Star Wars. Yeah, I'd recommend Star Wars.
I don't think. Well,
in 3D.
That's the kind of movie that'll never be on demand, right? Something like that.
Oh, yeah, Star Wars sure will. I don't know about 3D.
It will be?
Yeah, Star Wars is probably on. They've run Star Wars on TV, haven't? You know what? That's a good question. I don't really know for sure.
No, I don't. I've never seen it on demand.
It may never been on TV.
Not that I would care, Mike. But it doesn't really matter. So we're going to break up the Sixers. Did they win again last night?
No,
they got beat. They got beat by Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, so that's the end of that winning streak. Because I'm concerned that they're not going to hit. They're going to win more than 9 games now.
Yeah, look, I thought of that too.
What's the guy's name? Ed, they got the savior, Isa Smith. Is that his name?
Yeah, Isa Smith. He's like recycled, man. They had him before.
Is the guard, right?
Who the heck? I've never heard of this. Where's he from?
Who the hell knows? Honestly, I told you this before.
That's our expert.
Remember how we knew everybody on every roster, baseball, basketball, football? I couldn't tell you, outside of, a couple guys on the Sixers, I got no idea where these guys came from.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard of him either, but that's not surprising. But I think it's funny that
they recycled him. They brought him back.
Yeah, I thought I heard that on Sports Center or the Sports.
Yeah,
Central.
but you have to watch them, and they're painful to watch. So, the thought of trying to watch them would be and know who's on the team. You just don't do it. I mean, it's so hard.
It's cruel.
Yeah, they blow.
So hard.
They really blow.
Well, I was
down. What, though, I watched a couple games last night, and then I saw the rest of them on at 4:00 in the morning on ESPN. I watched a couple good games out west. UCLA and Houston went into double overtime, and then Utah and Stanford.
I watched that game. I watched the end of that game. Yeah. Who did? Wait a minute. Stanford won?
Stanford won, yeah.
No.
I think so.
I turned it off. They were up. Because Utah was up. The big kid, the big Austrian? Pole, or whatever his name is, from Utah, had a 3-point play. And then Utah was up by 4 with a minute 20.
Yeah, no, then they came back, and it went into, hold on a second here while we're...
I can't believe Utah got beat.
But yeah, and I'll tell you what, whose kid can play? He couldn't throw the ball in the ocean in the first 3 quarters of the game, but Alfred's kid with UCLA. He's a point guard.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He's the coach, right? Alfred's the coach.
Yeah, Steve Alfred's the coach, yeah.
Yeah. And his kid, he transferred with him, right? He came with him when he transferred to wherever he went. Right. Yeah. Is this his first year at UCLA?
Second.
Second year. Okay.
Time flies,
he was what is it, New Mexico? What was he coaching before that?
He was at New Mexico, yeah.
Oh, so his
kid signed a big contract, and then left.
Yeah, because UCLA gave him a bigger contract.
Well, plus it's UCLA. Who wouldn't want to coach at UCLA?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Stanford won 70.
I would, just for the record.
Stanford won 70-68 in overtime.
Wow.
Who did? I'm sorry, Don. Who did?
Stanford won 70-68 in overtime. I just looked it up.
Yeah.
And Washington beat UCLA.
Washington beat UCLA, That was double overtime, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of at that point I'm kind of going in and out sleeping, and then I actually read something in today's paper, and they had on another note with college basketball with Patino. Patino's up in arms because of the reporters and them reporting on his 4 years of go-go dancing and sex in the. He's got a freaking right on campus. He's got a dorm that's a nightclub, and he didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, he didn't know. He had no idea.
He had Delilah's den. He had Delilah's den there, man.
Oh,
How about Ed? How about I'm reading the paper yesterday. How about my man that was shot, the Nick that was shot, and he had
coming out of the dance club, coming out of a night strip with a strip club with his girlfriend. With his girlfriend at 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, at 2:30 in the morning.
nice.
But you hear about that whole thing with that? I don't know, Mike and Don, if you saw it, did you guys see this whole story?
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so, and Jimmy, again, there's another roster, like, do you remember the guy's name?
His first name, I think, was Chancery.
Okay, that's good enough. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Chancery and his ladybug are leaving at 2:30. Okay, they got an Uber car. They get 2 cars come and surround the Uber car, and they take his gold, all right, and they don't do anything to the lady. They take the identification, the Uber driver's identification, but part of the gold, Murph and I were laughing about it last night at the bar here at my house, part of the gold that they got was out of his mouth.
Oh,
no, I didn't see that.
Oh.
They took the gold out of his mouth.
He's having his car.
6 guys get out of 2 cars.
Charming.
And listen, you know what? Now, I've been in Manhattan and unfortunately been with some people, and I've been at Scores in Manhattan, and it's like $1 bazillion, and with Tamarello, Mike.
Yeah.
On one of those programs.
Uh-huh.
And but he's coming out of a gentleman's club in Brooklyn. So I'm not sure what part of Brooklyn. It's not like you're in Manhattan,
all right.
But him and his ladybug,
Gentleman's club.
and 2 cars, 6 guys get out, surround the car. They take all his gold, including the gold from his mouth.
God.
I didn't know it was in his mouth. It was $68,000 worth of stuff they took.
No.
He had $68,000 worth of jewelry on him.
This kid's a college player or a pro?
No, he's a pro. He's with the Knicks.
Wow, those are the Knicks. Okay.
And that's a setup, Ed. There's a brother at the strip club going, my man's leaving now. You guys you want to grab this guy?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now's the time to get him. He's leaving right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
2 cars, 6 guys come, jump out of the car, surround his car, and the rest is history.
And Ed, how about the other one? About 2 weeks before that, there was another Nick, where he brought 2 chicks back with him.
Yeah,
you saw that, right?
And they rolled them. They rolled them.
$500,000 worth of stuff they took.
Yeah.
$500,000 worth of jewelry.
How could that be?
What are you?
That's somebody.
Are you a suburban housewife? Or are you an NBA player? I mean, these kids they're unbelievable. They're just unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
Who needs anything that you wear that costs that much?
Yeah.
Right?
All the bling, man. All the bling.
I never heard. I wear a wedding ring. I got a wedding band. That's my entire jewelry collection.
That's it. That's exactly
I don't even wear that.
I got a watch.
I don't even wear that.
Watch.
I don't even have a watch.
I don't have a watch either.
No, I don't even have that.
But it's tits will be dicks. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They're just it's just unbelievable. But
no, I think that sums
anyway,
it up.
Sums it up for today.
Yeah,
we're rolling here.
That was a
All
great
right.
job.
Well, guys.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year,
and families, man.
All
All the best.
And we'll see you soon and talk to you next week, right?
Will do.
Yeah, Cointy. Hey, Cointy. I was talking with Denise today, man. Sandy Run, baby. Did you spend your money yet?
I was there Wednesday night.
Oh, are you okay? I'm still at. I got the whole McGillo, the whole loaf. Hey, listen. Also, just for Don, you don't know, but Mike and Jimmy, Charlie Lally's mom passed away.
Oh, okay.
How old? Yeah, 86. The services are on Monday down in East Falls at on Midvale Avenue at
St. Bridget's.
St. Bridget's, yeah. The viewings at 9, mass at 11.
Is it in today's paper? Do you know, Eddie?
I didn't look at today's yet, Mike, but it was in yesterday's.
It was in.
And she had been sick. It was a heart failure.
I might have yesterday's.
And I was on. Peabody called me. I guess it happened on Tuesday. Peabody called me. I talked to Charlie right away afterwards, and he was bummed, as he should be.
Of course.
So anyway, I know you guys know him. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that. I would have never known that without you. Hey, listen, before we go,
when are you going to stand your run, Ed?
I don't know, but I got to go before the end of the month.
Well, the Flyers are on at 4 today, Eddie. If you want to go over and catch the Flyers game.
Yeah, you know what?
They're playing the
I
Flyers
would
West.
be watching that, but there's only about 400 college basketball games on.
You might want to catch one of them instead.
And Penn State, Georgia's on. Penn State and Georgia's on right now.
I know, all right? And then, so I may catch McGurk's a little
that's
later
football.
for the games.
That's the football games on,
football,
Don.
but there's like there's got to be 20 college basketball games on.
All right, well, let me just get this in before I lose the 3 of you, because you need to know this. Beards for Bella. All right? I'm the only old man in this contest, so Eddie, of course, you don't count in this, but I'm expecting a lot of support from my peers. So we just kicked it off today. I got $160 in there. I made a modest goal. My modest goal of $2,500. I hope to exceed that. So we got Beards for Bella.
Okay.
I'm in this contest. It's a bunch of young whippersnappers coins. It's like me. I'm the only gray beard in it. So we got to. I'm looking for a little support from the. It don't have to be much, less than the price of a movie ticket, just so that I know you're on my side.
That you're $3. That's a $3 ticket.
it's $3 is fine, man. Every penny counts.
I know.
Hey guys, I just opened the Daily News. Ed, 38 college basketball games. I just counted them.
38.
Yeah, 38 college basketball games.
All right.
38 college basketball games.
God.
It's great. I love it. And we used to hope that we'd get a game on Channel 17, once in a while when we were kids.
I know.
You never did.
Right.
38
beautiful thing.
games.
Yeah. To watch Elmer Anderson in roller derby on Sunday nights to get our excitement.
Elmer Anderson.
At the arena.
Derby. Wow.
From the arena in Philadelphia, the roller derby. Absolutely.
Everybody misses that.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Thanks for opening up the joint, boys.
Take care.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, guys. All right. And there they go. All right, another great morning with the boys at Jigger's Joint. And anybody that's still hanging in with us, thank you for joining in this morning at Fat Hat Radio. Don't forget, we're on every Saturday morning. We're on Live 365 through today. This could be the end of that. But we will be back on the air next week on somebody's platform. So I want to thank Denny for calling in early and keeping me company, catching up, hoping he's feeling better. Big Frank, the Answer Man of Life, thank him for his company. Thank him for looking out for us, keeping us on the air. And also thank him for his generous donation to Beards for Bella. He's one of... he's already kicked out $100, and as he stated earlier today, he plans on being the #1 contributor at the end. So anybody else can challenge that, I'd appreciate it. And of course, we got to stop at Jigger's Joint, which is always a great time on our way to kick off our weekends. And thanks to Eddie and Coins and Dutch for checking in there. So, until we meet again, everybody have a safe and happy New Year. Hope it's healthy for you and your loved ones. Thanks again for tuning in. Love you all. And I'll be talking to you all soon. Bye now.
You're listening to Fat Hat Radio via Live 365. You're listening to Fat Hat Radio via Live 365.